Would actually destroy any figure, and that meant human figure, animal figure, any figure which they said was created by God and therefore it could not be depicted. Now, this led to some pretty bizarre things, like, for example, if you had a mannequin in a shop, you would have to chop its head off, deforming traffic signals, but even going into the Kabul Museum and chopping off faces of statues which were 5,000 years old. So you would go into the Kabul Museum and you'd see all these incredibly old statues with their heads chopped off. And that was pretty depressing, I can tell you. The Taliban then insisted that for passports, men would have their photographs and women would have their fingerprints. This was not allowed in many countries, obviously. Anyway, they allowed some studios to open, ostensibly to take passport photographs. And these studios then started taking clandestine pictures of young Taliban.
I didn't take these pictures. I found them and I want to make them public because I think they're great.
There's a lot of people thought that was my way of representing the Taliban, that I went to Afghanistan, photographed the Taliban and made them look like Gilbert and Georges gay icons, which they chose to do it themselves. So I got a lot of criticism in Europe from the sort of liberal PC left who found it demeaning for me to make them look like this. And they chose to look like that.
These images are very, very typical of the kind of pictures that people are taking today. People will go to a studio and the pictures will be very staged and there will be makeup and you'll brush your hair, do your turban. You know, there's this air of mystery about them simply because these studios were only semi-legal. These pictures were not permissible and these young men, you know, are showing affection to each other. You know, at that time all this was illegal.
It was a couple of weeks after the Taliban were kicked out of Kandahar by the